Welcome to our course on setting up a local host, where we're going to show you easy steps on creating your own local web development environment. So running on your own computer system, and this will give you an environment that you can practice, test different scripts, also give you a development environment where you can work on your web applications before you upload them live to the world, and also be able to simulate and try out different things within your web code, again, before sending it to your server and trying it with and sharing it to the world. So we're going to walk through 3 different resources to get you up and running quickly, and also these are all going to be really amazing how easy it is to get this development environment up on your local machine. And this is going to include an Apache server, a database, and give you the ability to write PHP code. My name is Lawrence, and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. I've been a web developer for over 18 years, and I'm so excited to have the opportunity to share this course with you. A lot of times students are asking me how they can set up a development environment, where they can practice PHP, how they can access a database, how they can build applications locally, and this course is going to have all of those answers and a whole lot more. It's going to give you all the information you need to know in order to get started to create your own web development environment. So as mentioned, we are going to look at 3 different ways to set these up, and again, depending on what your needs are going to be for your application, you might want to prefer one over another, and they are all going to be relatively easy to set up, relatively easy within minutes to get set up and running. So the first one that we're going to look at is XAMPP, and this is by far probably the most popular and easiest method for web developers to create their own Apache machine to run locally. So basically what this does is it works across platforms. So whether you've got a Windows, Linux, or Mac machine, you can download XAMPP and you can install your Apache environment, and you can run PHP scripts, and you can have access to a database by going over to localhost once you've got that up and running. So what happens is you get access to a control panel, and it's as easy, so once you've installed it, it's as easy as pressing start to start Apache, pressing start to start SQL, and then going over to localhost within your browser, and that gives you access to your development environment, your local server. The next one that we're going to look at is AMPS. Now, AMPS is a really cool application because if you're looking to try out various applications, such as that are available in Softalicious, which you probably are familiar with if you've got a hosting account. They're the ones that provide all those wonderful PHP applications and PHP classes that you can do with a one-click install, including applications such as WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal, and you can really easily get those installed on your server. So now, not only can you have it on your server, you can set these up on your local machine. And the real benefit to using AMPS, especially if you're looking to set up your own local WordPress environment, it's all right there, it's all ready to go, and you could simply click, install, select the different application. And the other thing that I really like about AMPS is that it gives you the ability to try all of these different really cool PHP applications out. So sometimes if you've heard about it and you want to find out more about it, it's as simple as just clicking and getting it up and running within AMPS. So once we walk through that, that's the second section of the course, and it's really going to truly be amazing how easy it is to work with AMPS and all the really cool things you can do with AMPS. So AMPS is probably a step up more complicated than XAMPP. And again, depending on what your requirements are, if you do need Python, if you do need a Mongo database, then AMPS is the one for you. And also, if you want access to all these pre-installed PHP web applications, want more information about them, then AMPS is the route to go. Now, the third option that we're going to be looking at is going to be using a combination of applications where we're going to use Vagrant and Oracle's VirtualBox in order to set up a virtual environment. And we're going to set up Scotchbox, which is pre-configured with a lot of really cool settings, and it gives you the ability to run PHP and a whole lot more. And the real beauty about Vagrant and OracleBox is that this is a portable environment, so you can configure it. So not necessarily with Scotchbox, which we're going to be showing you within the course, but if you get familiar with it, you can configure it that you've got a portable environment that you can reproduce, and you can reproduce it, and you can also configure it to match your server settings. And this is the real advantage here, that you have the ability to match those server settings, and you can also upload these Vagrant files, which has all the configuration information for your application, for your LAMP stack, and you can upload that to Git, and you can clone it on another machine and really easily have those same environments. And which you won't necessarily have with the other options, this portability and this really ability to jump in and customize those, and even get into the server and customize what access and applications are running on the server and really how it's configured. So this one is a whole lot more powerful for those that really do need to have this customized configuration. And again, we're going to be showing you how to set up Scotchbox, and it's going to be easy. In minutes you can have a local development environment all ready to go. And then this is another one that is accessed through the terminal. So the other two, XAMPP and AMPS, have control panels which you click in and you could select, and dashboards. But with Vagrant and the OracleBox, we actually need to have control panels, so we're not actually going to be interacting with it and accessing it through this is the Oracle Virtual Manager, so we're not going to be accessing it in this way. We are going to be accessing it within the terminal and using terminal commands in order to bring our box up, also copy it from GitHub and set it up and get that up and running. So we are going to be using the terminal in order to set that up with the Vagrant option. So again, we're going to be running through how to set up XAMPP, so where it's located, how to get more information about XAMPP, looking at the XAMPP control panel, and custom folders, where they're located, how to FTP, where you can get more help with XAMPP, how the editor works within XAMPP, how to access your database information, so phpMyAdmin, how we can send mail within XAMPP, how we can set up subdomains within XAMPP, how we can have multiple hosts, how we can update and configure the PHP INI file, and how we can test our PHP. And then we're going to look at AMPS, how we can set up AMPS, so where to download it, and it's a click-through install, so we can just use the defaults. Also how to install it on a Mac. AMPS control panel, so how we can select the versions of PHP with simple click, how we can have Apache up and running with again simple click, MySQL and various database options, FTP options, and how we can get access to all these different variations of PHP. So it's just as simple as clicking, and you can switch different variations of PHP. So this is another added advantage to AMPS, because it makes it easy if you want to switch to PHP 7, if you've configured and you built your application on an earlier version of PHP and you want to see how it performs with the upgraded version of PHP, then you could really easily switch through the different versions and work out any bugs that you might have. And that's another advantage to having it locally, that you can really troubleshoot and work through all of the bugs within applications before you launch them live. So looking at the main icons, working in with the end user panel, what that has to offer, what the admin panel of AMPS has to offer, how we can access phpMyAdmin, how we can set those passwords, the SQLite manager, FTP manager, how we can add in a domain, how we can use any number of the scripts. So again, there's a whole ton of scripts and a ton of stuff available in AMPS. So how we can set those, how we can back up and install it, how we can update those scripts, and then we're going to look at the third option, again, which was VirtualBox, how we can install the Scotchbox, more about Vagrant. I'm going to show you how you can install Vagrant and how you can provision boxes on your own, and then also how we can install and get the Scotchbox using Git. So that's going to be another thing that we need to get into our system and set up and get running, and then how we can set up the site using just Vagrant up, and then how we can access the server. So within the course, we're going to explore different options and different ways to set up all of these development environments.